Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to the channel Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you that are returning, thank you for coming back. Welcome. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your support over there. If anybody's interested in getting supporting the channel and getting a subscription, please go over to patreon.com and look up Engelgeist. And then I think that, for those of you that watch, you understand how to support the channel through a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe. I'm not going to do the whole big spiel. I'm just going to get straight into the reading. Maybe shorten these videos a little bit. If you want to figure that out, you can go and watch some of my older videos. This is for Tuesday, the 28th of July. If you're seeing this on a date that's not that day, it's completely okay. You might be in tune for the message when you see it. So you don't necessarily have to turn it off. You'll notice also just a little housekeeping thing. I've taken all the 2019 forecasts and just put them on a single playlist for 2019 forecasts. If you want to go dig through there, look at the forecast from your birthday or from a significant day, you certainly can do that. You can also play reading roulette and just pick something off of the forecast. And I'm also compiling all of 2020s as we're reaching the halfway point so that I don't have a ton of work to do at the end of the year. So that's how I'll be running it. Hopefully things will be easier to find. So let's see what we've got going on. We had all of that Pentacles energy this week. So we would still be kind of feeling that Knight of Pentacles, or what in this deck they call the Son of Pentacles. It's that slow, patient energy. Dedicated, methodical, all of that stuff. That's underpinning all of this. Okay, we saw this card last week around the same time, did we not? Where the hell did we see this? It was on Wednesday of last week. This is a beautiful card. This is the Lovers. This is associated with the sign of Gemini. This is about appreciation. I love that we have this light beaming. It's interesting that this card shows up in the midweek for us again. We do have this sort of uptick in the energy in the midweek that we saw on Sunday with that 10 of Pentacles. So to me, this could signify the oncoming of that. Today might be a day where we're feeling a little bit more positive-minded. We're starting to see the beauty in things. We're starting to feel connected to our fellow man. Some of us might be connected to a significant other or a family member in a way that, just feels deep and real and pure. There's a magnetism and an importance to this card. So I feel like our relationships with others are going to be hopefully shed in a positive light. And this might be that abundance, or setting us up for that abundance that is going to underpin us through the middle of the week with that 10 of Pentacles. I would say embrace this, ride this out. I would say stay with this energy as best you can. And I'm not saying that you can't, but we did have that sort of 5 of Pentacles as the ending energy for the week. We can change that, guys. We don't have to just sort of settle into the fact that, we're going to go and experience a setback at some point this week. We don't have to have that be our reality. We can channel this Lover's energy if we choose to, right? If we choose to focus on what is working, what is beautiful, what is right in the world, and sort of fly towards that focus, and like these 2 geese that we see here. To me, this could also be romantic connections deepening for some of you. I don't necessarily get that full-on romance, although the Lovers is a very romantic card. I don't get that full-on romance. This feels more like being positively focused and moving towards that positive focus. Pretty much, hopefully unhindered, right? That slow, sort of methodical hanged man energy. It feels like the hanged man is released from his perch and is now flying forward, whatever that may be for him. Decisions may be made for some of us. These might be decisive decisions. Like that doesn't make a lot, like that's not a, I don't know if it's an oxymoron, I can't even think. Important decisions might be made for some of us. But I believe that with this being the card here is that they're going to be made from a place of love, ideally, and positivity, which is important. And that if we move forward with that as our mindset, hopefully we will be good, right? Hopefully the opportunity is there for us. Now, with that wealth stone underpinning all of this is again, focusing on this abundance. That's also this Lover's card. It's focusing on what's good in the world, what's working for us, and pursuing that actively, right? yesterday's stone of energy, you know, still clocking in with our energy, still sort of, you know, is this bringing me grief or is this bringing me gratitude, right? That's what we really need to think about. And then, like, as best we can, I mean, I know nothing is ever perfect, right? We try and focus on the gratitude as best we can, or what the things that we have to be grateful for is. And again, you know, if you're not able to, I don't want you to judge yourself or be upset like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. Or it's not about that. It's about finding that love within your heart and allowing that love to lead you. That's what these two beats feel like they're being led together, right? So let's see what the other spirit animal card is. Ooh, this is new to us. This is raccoon. Interesting. Interesting that we have so much color in the lovers, and then we have this raccoon hiding in the dark. Let me see. What does this raccoon want to say today? Definitely the element of earth. I see that in the alchemical symbol at the top of the sign, at the top of the card. I kind of feel like, why do I feel like he's hiding? I feel like I'm being taken to this place of raccoons being sort of nocturnal, right? Or doing most of their work and business at night. I feel like these two geese are lit up in the bright light of love, or the shining light of love. I believe that this raccoon, I don't know the meaning for raccoon, and I kind of am not really sure. I don't have a lot of associations for raccoon personally, but what I feel like is it almost feels like, are we kind of maybe going off and on? To me, these feel like sort of a little bit in contrast to one another, one being so black and white, one being so full of color. This raccoon in some ways almost feels like it could be sadness, it could be depression, it could be isolation. I feel like these two cards are almost competing in some way. We might experience a day where we go from very sort of feeling some of the highs, which would be the Lover's card, to feeling some of the lows, which could be raccoon. I do feel like raccoon is sort of an industrious animal in the sense that they are smart, they're intelligent, they're able to sort of turn trash into treasure in that way, you know, like a raccoon is a recycler to me in my mind. And so a raccoon can make the worst out of a bad situation, and that also ties into the lovers, right? Like a raccoon can turn, I know this is going to sound gross, but can turn like sort of garbage into a grand meal, right? And feed off of that, right? So if some of us are getting caught in the ideas of this, the focus of this raccoon might be on sort of, and I'll read the definition of this card and it'll be totally different than what I'm saying. But my feeling as I'm looking at this card is it feels like if we're focused on what's not working, right, we might just get more of that. But the power of raccoon is that we can take what's not working and we can actually turn it into something that can work for us. Similar to like how peacock assimilates stuff. I feel like raccoon does that at a more sort of physical or visceral level. He's the element of earth, right? So we can take sort of the things in our lives that maybe aren't working and find love for them or find opportunity within them and move towards them. Remember, we're heading from this slower energy of this Hanged Man, Knight of Pentacles, into this more uplifting Ten of Pentacles in the midweek. So I feel like some of you might be experiencing like an up and down thing, because I feel like these cards, it's like high, low, high, low. And the question is do we want to come out of our sort of shelter and be in the light? Do we want to come out and sort of attach or connect in that way? Or do we feel safer hiding out is sort of the feeling that I'm getting from this raccoon. Hiding out isn't necessarily a bad thing per se. We might be maintaining our energy or doing things that we need to do, but are we really able to sort of see the wealth that is the grounding stone of this week? The focus of what we have versus what we don't, or what is working for us versus what is not, right? So I kind of feel like these two might be, also these two feel like they're flying forward into the future, where raccoon feels like he might be facing the past or feeling a little bit stationary. So this might be the transference or the shift of energy. Maybe that Son of Pentacles energy, that Hanged Man energy isn't going to like let us go quite so easily. I do think that this Lover's card to me feels like we should stay focused on the light, the positivity, what pleases us as best we can. Let me look at these cards really quick. Only because the Lovers is also a major arcana card too, so I feel like it's going to be the more dominant of the two energies. Although Raccoon, sort of to me, as I'm looking at him, he sort of lurks in the background. He might be our deeper, more subconscious self, right? There might be something we need to address or bring out into the light and allow love to heal it. That could be for some of you. That could be a very beautiful message in these two cards for some of you that might be sort of feeling like you're hiding within. And the thing is whatever it is that you're hiding or keeping safe or maybe not addressing or shining a light on, it is smart. It's an aspect of you that I feel like is industrious, is smart, is all of these tools of that the Raccoon possesses, right? So even though it may feel sort of sad, downtrodden, or needs to be hidden, it actually, when embraced, it has positive qualities we may not be necessarily seeing, is the sense that I'm getting as I'm looking at Raccoon. So the Lovers is union, desire, joy. Two Canadian geese are mates for life, traveling partners within our expansive sky. The Lovers card is a welcome sight in any reading, as it suggests a beautiful and strong relationship on the horizon. Yes, you'll experience all the thrills of desire and romance, but meanwhile, you'll be building a solid foundation together. The Lovers honor and respect each other, and with that, they can go anywhere. If you're already in a relationship, it's time to be grateful and nourish this rare and precious gem. I feel like this is just about falling in love. For those of you that are in a relationship, definitely take that meaning and utilize it to, honor your relationship and respect it. But for those of you that maybe aren't in a relationship or aren't seeking a relationship, I also think that this could just be about falling in love with sort of our environment, the opportunities that we have, how limited they may be, just being grateful for whatever it is we have and finding that love in our heart to sort of express that out and shine that light out, right? So for those of you that maybe aren't... And even those of you that might be in a relationship that are under stress right now, right? This might just be about being grateful for what you have versus, focusing on sort of what's not working. Okay, and let's see what Raccoon has to say here. Let me find Raccoon for you. Come on, Raccoon. I don't think we've had a lot of earth animals this month, so it's interesting he's showing up. I don't feel like we've had hardly any earth animals. Oh no, we did have spider. And we had deer, I believe. Here we go, Raccoon. Alright, talented, shadowy, in hiding. Okay, so the art definitely got that for me. Raccoon energy is at play within all artists, to greater or lesser degrees. At best, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, guys. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When it's in balance, it's a generous friend, exceptional artist. When out of balance, it's competitive, starving artist. And to bring it into balance, it says to make new work. I kind of feel like when I'm thinking about this, because not all of us might feel as though we're artists or can relate to that sort of definition, I do feel like there is this aspect of self that we might be struggling with. It might be feelings, emotions, perceptions of where we are in the world or how the world is working for us right now that might be hindering us, and we're struggling with it. We want to get into the flow of this Lover's card, but this Raccoon energy is maybe dogging us a little bit. It might be pulling us backwards. It might be some of that slower Hanged Man, Son of Pentacles energy we were fighting with. Or not fighting with, but like sort of feeling, right? It sort of feels like to me this Raccoon wants to drown. I don't get a negative, how do I want to say this? I don't get like a malicious feeling from the raccoon card. I get this feeling of being dragged into, say, like the depths of a depression, emotionality, fear, insecurity, those sort of things that are natural human sort of reactions that, and I don't want you guys to feel bad if you're having those, but I feel like it's sort of, maybe struggling against trying to get to this higher vibration of the lovers and hitting that and then maybe slipping back into raccoon again, right? And that's okay. It's like the broad spectrum of human emotions. We just don't want to allow, like, raccoon will need to be addressed is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. And the thing is that, like I said earlier, raccoon, this, whatever this might represent for you, whatever this sort of inner, I wouldn't call it turmoil, but whatever this is calling out to be looked at, but is almost too afraid to step out from the shadows, it may be what's limiting us. It may be the thing, and it's not meaning to, that's the thing that I get from this card. I get this sense that it's almost like this part of ourselves, whatever this is that we might be hiding from or not addressing or sort of allowing to linger in the background, although we hear its voice subtly, we're not necessarily, how do I want to say this, like honoring it or allowing it to sort of speak for fear that, I don't know, we might have like a myriad of fears. Each one of you may have your own worry or anxiety around, if I let this part of me come forward, it might overtake, or it might not go away, or I might not be able to get out of bed, or I might not be able to address the day. But the Lover's card to me speaks to this idea that indeed you can, and when we shine this light of love onto this raccoon, we're going to see that whatever this is for us, and it will take many different forms for each and every one of you, whatever this is that sort of holds us back or challenges us in some subtle sort of way, we're going to find that there's, like I said, an intelligence to raccoon. There's an industriousness to raccoon. There's an idea that, you know, this aspect of self is wanting to keep us safe. So it's not there to harm us as much as it's there to stimulate that sort of connection or conversation with self. Does that make sense? So the grounding stone, and I like that this is a nice big fat stone too, is blessed. Again, I feel like this ties into that, this ties into that wealth stone. This is about finding where the blessings are in our life. That's also the energy of the Lovers. That's the opportunity that we have coming with this 10 of Pentacles by midweek, which should be starting tomorrow. And it's actually sort of, as far as I can tell and see, it's beginning with this Lovers card. Focusing on the blessings, allowing those blessings to bolster us up and empower us, or allow us to feel strong enough that we can look at the more delicate natures of ourselves, or our more shadowy side, our darker side, what dwells underneath. Like when I'm looking at these cards, the interesting thing, like last night I did the charming, or well, yeah, because this is the day before, so 2 nights ago. By the time you guys see this, it will be 2 nights ago. I ended up having a bit of a political talk on my channel, and I always feel sort of uncomfortable when I do that because, excuse me, I don't necessarily feel like this is the place for politics because they tend to divide. But there is this fine line of this is who I truly am and the things that sort of politics currently in today's world do to me and affect me in certain ways. And I think that sometimes if we don't address those things, like that could be, I'm just using this as an example, that could be sort of my raccoon, right? The part of me that is worried or filled with anxiety that I don't really want to acknowledge, because when I do, I get upset or I get overwhelmed and I feel like I can't deal. And I'm just using that as an example. But it's that part, that raccoon part of me, right? That sort of deeper part of myself is actually, the sense that I get is a highly intelligent and is sort of more in line with who I truly am than I really understand. Does that make sense? And so focusing on my blessings and grounding in those things and what is working helps the energy of the raccoon to feel less fearful is my feeling. And so I'm applying that to my life so that you guys can hopefully make sense of it and utilize that in your life wherever it works. So when we shine light on who we are and how we feel, even if we're maybe embarrassed or worried about others and how others are going to perceive it, I get on here every day and I worry, am I doing a good enough job? Am I making a good enough difference? These are all sort of things that I would see as raccoon energy, like hiding in the background, that I don't necessarily share with people, right? I don't necessarily always talk about that, but am I blessed that I get the opportunity to do this? Yes. Am I blessed that I get the opportunity to connect with spirit? Yes. So these are the things that I'm going to choose to do today as I go through my day. And I'm going to listen to raccoon. I think that raccoon has a voice and needs to be heard. It's a part of ourselves that we don't want to sort of deny. Because I see this sort of pattern between these two cards where when we shine the light of the lovers onto the raccoon is able to be seen and understood for its positive attributes, right? But also it's like the truth of the raccoon allows the lover's light to shine. Does that make sense? So when we listen to this more subtler, deeper voice within ourselves and we don't deny it, fight it, or fear it, or push it back, shove it down, stuff it in, we actually open ourselves up to the appreciation of ourselves in all aspects, and that makes this light of the lovers stronger. But also this light of the lovers needs to emanate so that it can illuminate raccoon, so that we can see it, speak to it, acknowledge it. Potentially change it if we need to, but I don't feel that we necessarily need to change it. This isn't something that needs to be avoided. This is just something that needs to be acknowledged, appreciated, embraced, and kind of brought into this journey. It's a blessing, ultimately, even if we don't feel as though it is. That is your forecast for the day. I hope that makes sense, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please give me a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe. I look forward to seeing where this is going. Have a great day. I love you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.